Hello, this is SJ Talks on Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please and thank you. This video is on the heels of the last video that I did, kind of like related to the last video. And I'll link it up to the last video. Is going to be the video before this one. I'm talking about mothers saying they don't like. I played a series of clips saying that mothers don't. Mothers talking about they don't like being. They don't want to be a mom anymore or whatever. That video, and I'm talking about birth control in that video. So this video is in direct correlation to that video. So it's going to be the video before this one, and then I'll also link it up just in case you guys didn't get a chance to watch that one. Anywho, this is the direct correlation to that video. I'm going to expand further off of what I said in that video about birth control methods and stuff. There's no reason for women to get. A woman doesn't have to have a baby. A woman don't have to. Now, I'm not advocating abortion because I'm pro-life, so take that out of the equation. I'm an advocate for a woman not getting pregnant in the first place. This is what I'm talking about. I'm an advocate for women preventing the pregnancy. Okay. Preventing the pregnancy, keep from getting pregnant in the first place. A woman don't have to get knocked up. You don't have to get knocked up. And it amazes me how all these women are coming on here talking about, I get it that we don't realize how hard motherhood's going to be. Our mothers don't tell us a lot of stuff. Our mothers don't sit us down and say, look, motherhood is hard. You know, you might want to think twice before you have kids. Not too many mothers do that. Not too many mothers will sit down and really give you the full gist of, but we ought to know something by watching our mothers, because most of us seen our mothers struggle, you know. I mean, you know, duh. I mean, you know, especially single mothers. A lot of us come from single parent households, and we've seen our mothers struggle. But, you know, but nevertheless, a lot of our mothers didn't tell us how hard motherhood really was. So, I mean, I get it that after we have our children, you know, we don't realize how hard motherhood really is, especially being a single parent, until after the children get here. And the single motherhood is not for the faint of heart. Single motherhood, it is not for the faint of heart. I said that in many videos. I talk a lot about single parent motherhood because I was a single mother for many years. And it is not for the faint of heart. You have to be an incredibly strong person. I think it takes a lot of strength. I think a woman has to be really, really strong to be a single mother, particularly a black single mother, because we got some other things going against us. And so you have to be incredibly strong. You spiritually, you know, you're going to have some type of spiritual strength as well, because you're going to have to rely on God. You're going to have to turn to God for help and all this kind of stuff like that. But if you don't have no spiritual strength, you got to have some mental endurance. It takes a lot of mental and emotional endurance to be, and physical endurance to be a single mother. It is not for the faint of heart. And some women out here just can't handle it. Some of these young ladies out here, they're not up for the job. And I think I'm Gen Xer. I think the baby boomers and the Gen Xers were stronger. We come from a different generation, you know, and we're stronger, you know, we're stronger. We were stronger, you know, but the younger generations they on a little bit on the women are a little bit on the weak side. And they don't have the mental stamina that we had it took to endure. But in their defense, things are different now too. The economy is a whole lot different. We struggled, my generation struggled raising our kids. Times were hard, but things is even 10 times harder now than what it was when I was taking care of my kids. It's rough out here. Housing costs done went up, food prices done skyrocket, hit the roof. I don't know about you guys, but I want to cry anymore when I go to the store. Thank God I just got to buy for me. I wouldn't know what to do. But the food prices and everything done skyrocket. Everything is so expensive now. I mean, everything is expensive. Everything is expensive. Everything up. Gum done went up. Gum, chewing gum. I mean, they didn't jack the price up on everything. Gas, everything is high. Personal necessities and everything is high. And I stay in the dollar store. And they even went up in the dollar store. They didn't went up to $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. Well, that's a whole nother video. I'm not trying to get off subject. But they did went up to $1.25 in the Dollar Tree. Ain't that a mess? Anyway, I'm getting off a subject, but the cost of everything done went up. And so it's harder now. It's harder for single mothers now to take care of children. It's a lot harder now than what it was when we struggled. I struggled. But it's the young ladies now, they really struggling. My daughter-in-law, or or not daughter-in-laws, but I call them, my son got 2 baby mamas. I call them my bonus daughters. I call them my bonus daughters. My bonus daughters, they struggle. They struggle with they have my grandkids, but I only have two biological grandkids, but I have they got other children by other men, and so I call them my bonus grandkids because they're my grandchildren's siblings. So I call them my bonus grandkids. What the heck, And so they're my kind of consider them like my bonus grandkids. And sometimes I do babysit them as well. So they struggle. They struggle. And so I try to give them as much support as I can give them and stuff like that. But what these young ladies are going through is a different situation. Times are a lot harder. But the thing is this: women, you don't have to get pregnant. Okay, you don't have to get pregnant. And sometimes I get a little frustrated because these young ladies, they lay up and they have these kids, and then they get mad. These younger generations, young ladies, they get mad because, they want people to be able to watch the kids when they, and then they want to take their little breaks. They want to take all these mommy breaks. I'm like, mommy break? First of all, I didn't even know what that meant. What's a mommy break? They want to take these mommy breaks where they want to get somebody to watch the kids for 2 or 3 days while they decompress and take a mental health break. And I get it. That's what they need. They need the mommy breaks. But the problem is that we're not always available for them to take these mommy breaks. And so, and that's what, my son's baby mamas, sometimes they get a little frustrated because they can't find somebody that's going to take the kids off of them for 2 or 3 days while they take their little mommy breaks and decompress. But now if I get shut off, then I might post this video anyway if I get shut off. But if not, I get shut off, I'll do a part 2 because I got my phone charged up, and sometimes with this phone it shuts off and restarts when I got the charger on it. Anyway, I hope that it doesn't do that. But if you see 2 parts of this video, that's why. But yeah, but that's what they want. They want that, and they can't always have that. Now, right now, I can't be there for my grandkids or even my bonus grandkids like they would probably like me to, or I would like to, because right now I'm busy with my mom right now. My mom is dealing with some issues right now. So I'm busy with my mom. I can't be in two places at one time. I'm busy assisting with her. So, but that's the problem. They want somebody to take the kids off their hands for 2 or 3 days so they can decompress and all that. Now, I didn't get that. I didn't get nobody taking my kids off of me for 2 or 3 days. I always had my kids. The only time I didn't have them was when they were at the daycare. So at first I was like, what's my son was like, they want a break. At first I was like, a break? What's that? Mommy break? What's that? You know what I mean? So, and I get it. They need that. But, easier said than done because, nowadays grandmothers are still working. Grandmothers are doing this and that and the other. Or grandmothers of my generation are just living their life, because they figure they didn't already raise their kids. So, or we're assisting elderly parents, either one or the other. So, it's difficult. It's really difficult. And I sympathize with them, and I understand that they need help. And I try to give them as much support as I can. But it is what it is. But my thought is just like, before you lay down and make these children, think about these things. Young ladies need to think about these things beforehand. First of all, abstinence is the best birth control that there is. Abstinence. Don't have sex at all. Now, a lot of people think that that's not realistic. A lot of people feel like that's not realistic. They feel like that is not realistic for them to abstain. For some people, that's not possible. If that's not possible, then there's all types of birth control pills on the market. Okay? If you absolutely cannot abstain, there's lots of birth control pills on the market, or methods on the market. There's birth control pills. There's a whole lot more stuff than it was when I was, younger, their age. The patch, they got the injection. They got all kind of stuff that women can use now to keep from getting pregnant. All kind of stuff over the counter on the market. There was a lot of things available even when I was taking birth control, at that birth control age. Ship and sale now. But I'm just saying, when I was at that age, let me tell you something. I said this in another video. I'm going to be a little frank here. The reason I had my 2 sons, those 2 pregnancies actually could have been prevented. Okay, on my end, because when I got pregnant with both of them, I stopped taking my birth control pills prior to getting pregnant. I was on birth control pills for both of them before conceiving both of my sons, and I stopped taking my birth control pills. Okay, I'm not going to go into the reasons why. I'm not going to go into all that song and dance right now. But I stopped taking the birth control pills. Now, when I was taking the birth control pills, guess what? The pills were working. They were working. I actually didn't get pregnant. I didn't get pregnant. And the pills were working just beautifully. I took them every day like I was supposed to. They were working wonderfully. The problem with birth control pills, there are side effects to them. Some women gain weight. If I gain weight, I didn't notice it. I didn't have many side effects. I'm going to be honest. But I was always worried about, I don't want them to ruin my body. I don't want them to mess up my body, whatever. So, it was when I stopped taking the birth control pills is when I conceived my kids. You see? But when I was taking them, they were working. I didn't get pregnant. It's when I stopped taking them is when I got myself knocked up. Okay? So, if you're fertile myrtle, and you fertile myrtle, all your female parts are still working down there. There's nothing wrong with you down there that can prevent you from getting pregnant. And you fertile myrtle, go on and take them pills or injections or whatever it is. There's really no excuse for women to get pregnant. I'm just going to be frank here. There's really no excuse for women to get pregnant. And even if you're using a condom, you should still have a backup. When you're using a condom, you need a backup because these men are tricky. And I did a whole nother video on that. These men are tricky with these condoms. They don't like to wear them. They get tricky. Okay. So as a woman, you need to you need an additional backup in addition to the condom, because the condom is going to keep you from getting a STD. You know, it prevents pregnancy, but it can also prevent you from getting an STD. But you also want to have a backup just in case that condom fails or that man takes it off, because men do that. They take it off or whatever the situation, it slips off. Then you got that backup birth control method to bag you up. Okay, so there is no reason, there is really no excuse for women to get pregnant. Okay, it really isn't. And if you one birth control method, if you're having complications with one birth control method, switch up to another birth control method. Okay, so and do a backup in the meantime while your body is adjusting. Get yourself a backup in the meantime. They got foams on the market. They got all that stuff that you can use to prevent a pregnancy. That stuff over the counter. Okay, so there's all kind of things that women can take and do. I think they even have a suppository now. Don't they even have I have to do the research. But I think they even have suppositories and stuff now women can do. And I know they got the injections, and I know they have the patch. And they had those Norplant. Those, I don't know if they still have those Norplant, the little sticks they put in you. But I heard that those can get lost in your body somewhere and keep you and make you permanently fertile. That's what I heard. So I might have to do a little research in that area, because I haven't really had to worry about that stuff in years. So, but there's plenty of things on the market. And of course there's tubal ligation. If you've already had all the children that you want, then tie them tubes up. You know what I'm saying? Lock it up. Lock it down. You know? So, you know, that's more permanent. And some women might have a little bit of an issue doing that because it's more permanent. But if you're done having all the kids that you want, then go ahead. Or you don't want to risk getting pregnant again, then go ahead and get that done. So there is absolutely no reason for women to be getting pregnant. And even if you do, some of the YouTuber, was it some of the YouTubers on here, I don't know if it's the childless YouTubers on here, but they're saying child free. There's a difference between childless and child free. And this is a really good point that they make. They say if no matter what the situation is, even if you get married before you have your children, don't have any more children than you can afford to take care of. That's a good one. Don't have any more children that you can afford to take care of, because if that man leave you, even if you get married, if that man, we know life happens. If that man, and men gonna be men are unpredictable. They're very unpredictable. If that man leaves you, or he could die, he could pass away, some unfortunate circumstances, he could pass away, or anything could happen, you know. He leaves you, he passes away, or whatever the situation it is. Okay? Women should think about that. So women should give more motherhood more thought. Even if you do want to have kids after you get married, don't have any more children than what you can afford to take care of. If you figure, you know, my finances is a little shaky, I should only just have one or two. Even in a marriage. Because if in the event that man leaves you or he dies, then you're going to be stuck on your own raising them babies. Okay? So if your career, you ain't clocking in no money, or you just, you're a stay-at-home mom, that's something to think about. Okay? At the end of the day, that man ain't got no say-so, because he doesn't have to carry the baby for 9 months. You do. And so that's an excellent point. Don't have any more children than what you can afford to take care of, what you think you can afford to take care of. If you're a woman and you got a pretty decent job, it's pretty stable, and you ain't planning on going nowhere. Of course, anything can happen in life. And okay, well, your husband is open, or say, well, I want 3 kids. Okay, you think about it. Okay, can I afford to? And then you got to think about mentally. Can I mentally handle taking care of 2 or 3 kids? So women got to give it more forethought. Women have to think about these things ahead of time. Start thinking about, maybe this is something that mothers need to start talking to their daughters about. Start thinking about these things ahead of time, giving them a little bit more thought. I think we think more about marriage than we do about having kids, and having children is a much bigger commitment than getting married. You can't divorce your kids, and that's what these women are trying to do. They're trying to divorce their kids. You can't divorce your kids. I told my youngest son, I was just joking around with him a couple of months ago. I said, Edmund, I want a divorce. I was just joking around. But you cannot divorce your kids. You can't divorce your children. They're your children for life. No matter what happens. They're your children for life. You're stuck with them. Even when they become an adult. And parenting doesn't stop. Okay? Once they turn 18, it doesn't stop. Okay? That's the biggest misconception. It stops at 18. It just takes on another... That's a whole nother video. Parenting just takes on another form. Okay? You're now a parent to adult children. Okay? So it just evolves, and it just takes on another form. But parenting does not stop at 18. You're always going to mentally be a mother for the rest of your life. It's never going to stop. You're always a mom to the day you die. You're going to always mentally be a mom. So once you have these children, they're stuck with you. Even if you try to get rid of them, they're still going to be up here. They're still going to be in here. Unless you're just some cold-hearted, psychopathic woman, then your children are going to always be up here and in here. Okay? So it's just something that women need to think about more beforehand. And you don't have to get pregnant. Women don't have to get pregnant. Women gotta take more responsibility for their bodies. You gotta take more responsibility for your body. Okay? You have to take more responsibility for your body. And that's something that mothers need to start talking to their daughters about. Take more responsibility for your body. Because at the end of the day, when you get pregnant, especially you get pregnant by a man you ain't married by, he gonna leave you holding that baby 9 times out of 10. And if you're blessed enough to have somebody that's going to stick by you and have your back, okay, then that's a blessing. But a lot of women, life happens and the man kicks them to the curb and they leave them. You know what I mean? And even, even in a marriage type situation, it's never going to be equal. The woman still gets the primary care of the children, even in a marriage situation. And sometimes we have married single mothers. So that's a good point. Don't have any more children than what you can physically and financially and emotionally and mentally take care of. That's a good point. Hit me up, like, subscribe, and share. Notification bell. Until the next video, be blessed.